Hello amazing learners, welcome to today's session. This is Achal, your learning buddy, and we are taking up SST for class 6. This is history chapter 9, that is the post-Mauryan period, right? इसके अंदर हम बात करेंगे about the time period after the decline of the Mauryan Empire, right? So we'll be learning about North India after the Mauryans. The northwest we'll be talking about. We'll talk about Kushanas, right? Kushanas का जो rule period था. We'll talk about the Deccan regions, the southern kingdoms, and we'll talk about the importance of these southern kingdoms, right? So, do you know how contact was established between places far away, separated by different terrain, right? So that we'll be learning in this chapter, children. So let's talk about North India after जो मौर्यन एम्पायर था ख़त्म हो गया, उसके बाद जो नॉर्थ इंडिया था उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. सो द संगा एंड दी कानवा रूलर्स. सो आपको याद होगा हु वाज द लास्ट मौर्यन रूलर. इट वाज बृहद्रथ, राइट. उनको उन्हीं के गवर्नर ने यानी पुष्यमित्र संगा ने किल किया था. उसके बाद स्टार्ट हुई थी संगा डायनेस्टी. सो द लास्ट मौर्यन रूलर बृहद्रथ was a weak person. He was not a strong ruler. He was quite weak. So he was killed by his army general Pushyamitra Sanga. Pushyamitra and his successors came to be known as Sanga rulers. So Pushyamitra Sanga और उनके जो successors थे, they came to be known as Sanga rulers. The Sanga dynasty ruled for about 112 years. The last Sanga king was Devabhuti. He was the last ruler of Sanga dynasty, Devabhuti. He was killed by his minister Vasudev Kanva. उनको मारा था उन्हीं के minister Vasudev Kanva ने in 72 BC, right? And the Kanva dynasty lasted for about 45 years. So 45 years तक ही rule किया था Kanva rulers ने from 72 BC to 27 BC. It was overrun by the Andhra rulers, right? जिनको सतवाहनास भी कहा जाता था. It was overrun by the Andhra rulers. So Kanvas को Andhra rulers ने overtake कर लिया. The Sanga and the Kanva rulers, Kanvas को सतवाहनास ने overrule कर दिया था. So Sanga and the Kanva rulers followed Brahminical religion. Means they were Brahmins. Brahmin rule था उस time पर. Pushyamitra Sanga had to fight the foreign invaders, the Bactrian Greeks, right? He won a great victory in the war. So Pushyamitra Sanga को foreign invaders जो बैक्ट्रिया के रहने वाले थे, Bactrian Greeks थे, उनसे लड़ाई करनी पड़ी थी, उन पर अटैक करना पड़ा था. And he won a great victory in the war. और उस war में पुष्यमित्र संगा की जीत हुई थी. To celebrate his victory, he performed Ashwamedh. That is a हॉर्स सैक्रिफाइस. यज्ञ किए जाते थे जिनमें हॉर्सेस को सैक्रिफाइस किया जाता था. सो पुष्यमित्र संगा ने अश्वमेध यज्ञ किया था. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दी नॉर्थ वेस्ट, राइट. इंडो ग्रीक्स के बारे में बात करेंगे. इंडो ग्रीक्स होते क्या है, लेट्स लर्न अबाउट देम. सो इट इज बैक्ट्रिया. बैक्ट्रिया के बारे में बात करते हैं पहले. बैक्ट्रिया ले बिटवीन हिंदू कुश माउंटेन्स एंड द रिवर ऑक्सस, राइट. जो बैक्ट्रिया रीजन है ये हिंदू कुश माउंटेन्स, ये माउंटेन रीजन है, राइट. माउंटेन रेंजेस हैं हिंदू कुश माउंटेन रेंज उनके और रिवर ऑक्सस के बीच का जो रीजन है दैट वाज नोन एज बैक्ट्रिया. आफ्टर अलेक्जेंडर्स कॉन्क्वेस्ट द बैक्ट्रियंस हैड अडॉप्टेड द ग्रीक कल्चर. जब अलेक्जेंडर ने इन्वेड किया वहाँ पर, उसके बाद जो बैक्ट्रिया के लोग थे उन्होंने ग्रीक कल्चर को अपना लिया था. Menander, that is Milind, was the most important among the Indo-Bactrian kings. So he was one of the most important Indo-Bactrian kings, Menander, right? He ruled over a vast kingdom which included Gandhar, northwestern India, Punjab, Sindh and parts of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. So he ruled over such a vast kingdom. His capital was Sakala, which is Sialkot in Pakistan, right? Menander became a disciple of Buddhist monk Nagasena. So he was a follower, he was a disciple of Nagasena, he was a Buddhist monk. The book Milind Panha is one of the most notable books in Buddhist literature. So मिलिंद ने एक बुक लिखी मिलिंद पन्हा जिसके अंदर बुद्धिस्ट लिटरेचर के बारे में बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया गया है. एंड इट इज़ अ नोटेबल बुक, एक बहुत ही फेमस बुक है. द अदर बैक्ट्रियन रूलर्स वर्शिप्ड लॉर्ड विष्णु, जो बाकी के बैक्ट्रियन रूलर्स थे वो लॉर्ड विष्णु को वर्शिप किया करते थे, वाइल जो मिलिंद थे वो बुद्धिस्ट फॉलोअर थे। देयर वे ऑफ लाइफ was an amazing mixture of Indian and Greek cultures, right? So Bactrians की अगर हम बात करें तो उनकी life it was a mix of Indian and Greek culture, दोनों cultures का एक mix था। That is the reason why they are known as Indo-Greeks, इसी वजह से उनको Indo-Greeks कहा जाता है। Then these are some ancient coins, right, of that time. We'll be talking about that. So Parthia, the Parthians were also of the Greek origins. जो Parthians थे वो भी Greek origin के थे, Greece से आए थे। They ruled over Parthia, which included some parts of modern Iraq. So Parthia included जो Parthians थे वो Parthia पर रूल करते थे, and that part Parthia included some parts of जो आज के टाइम का इराक है उसके कुछ पार्ट्स थे पार्थिया में। Gondophares was the most famous among the Parthian kings. So Parthian सबसे most important, most famous Parthian king कौन थे? Gondophares, right? Taxila was his capital और उनकी capital थी Taxila. The Parthian empire split into pieces after Gondophares' death. जैसे ही Gondophares उनके most famous king थे, उनकी death के बाद जो Parthian empire थी वो split हो गई. It was not very powerful and it declined. Right, the Sakas were driven out of their homeland by Yuchi tribe. Sakas को उन्हीं के homeland से Yuchi tribe ने बाहर निकाल दिया. They were living outside the Chinese wall and they overran the Parthians. So Sakas ने क्या किया? वो Parthians को they overran them and then they crossed Baluchistan and settled in the regions of lower Indus. So ये जो Sakas थे पार्थियंस को हराकर दे क्रॉस्ड बलूचिस्तान, उन्होंने बलूचिस्तान भी क्रॉस किया एंड दे सेटल्ड इन द लोअर रीजन्स ऑफ इंडस वैली। द प्रोविंशियल गवर्नर्स ऑफ द साका किंग्स वर नोन एज सत्रप्स, राइट? जो प्रोविंसेस में जो उनकी जो एम्पायर बटी हुई थी उनके जो गवर्नर्स थे उनको क्या कहा जाता था? सत्रप्स, क्लियर? जिनको क्षत्रप्स भी कहा जाता था। द सत्रप्स ऑफ Taxila, Nasik, Ujjain and Mathura occupy a prominent place in the Indian history. So ये जो satraps थे Taxila के, Nasik के, Ujjain के, Mathura के, they all occupy a very important and a prominent place in the history. Rudradaman, the satrap of Ujjain. Ujjain के satrap थे Rudradaman. He ruled from 130 AD to 150 AD and the last Saka satrap was defeated by Chandragupta II in 398 AD, right? So a ruler of the Saka dynasty is believed to have started a new calendar in 78 CE and that calendar is known as Saka calendar, right? Now let's talk about the Kushanas. The Kushanas were a branch of the famous Yuchi tribe, right? The Kushanas जो थे वो Yuchi tribe के, it was a branch. In the 1st century AD, they defeated the Parthias and Saka satraps of Taxila. So जो Kushanas थे, उन्होंने 1st century AD में ही Parthias को और Saka satraps और जो Taxila के थे, उनको defeat कर दिया था. They captured parts of Afghanistan from them. Later, their empire became very vast. उन्होंने पार्ट्स ऑफ अफगानिस्तान को भी कैप्चर कर लिया था और बाद में चलकर वो एक बहुत ही पावरफुल एम्पायर बनी, एक बहुत ही बड़ी एम्पायर बनी. So let's talk about one of the greatest rulers of Kushana dynasty known as Kanishka, King Kanishka. So King Kanishka was one of the greatest of the Kushana rulers. He ruled from 78 AD to 101 AD. He started a new era which began with the first year of his rule. उन्होंने एक नए era की शुरुआत की and that began with the first year of his rule. उनके पहले ही साल में उन्होंने बहुत changes लाए. That is in 78 AD. Okay, so it came to be known as the Saka era because of its long use by जिन्होंने use किया था Saka satraps of Ujjain, right? Now let's talk about Kanishka's empire. King Kanishka की empire के बारे में बात करते हैं. He was a great warrior. His empire included Afghanistan, Kashgar, Khotan, Yarkand, Peshawar, Punjab, Kashmir, and parts of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So he had a vast empire. The capital of his vast empire was Purushapur, that is modern Peshawar, right? This is Kanishka, King Kanishka की जो empire थी, it was really vast. This is a headless statue of Kanishka discovered in the Mathura district. मथुरा में एक ऐसा statue पाया गया है King Kanishka का, that is headless, उसका head नहीं है. Okay. Although Kanishka was a follower of Lord Buddha, although King Kanishka जो थे वो बुद्धिस्ट follower थे, his coins have the image of Lord Shiva. उनके जो coins हैं उन पे Lord Shiva की inscript वो पाए गए हैं, engravings पाई गई हैं. Now let's talk about his religion. Kanishka was converted to Buddhism by a Buddhist monk अश्वघोष, राइट? बुद्धिस्ट मंक थे अश्वघोष जिन्होंने किंग कनिष्का को बुद्धिस्ट में कन्वर्ट किया था. ड्यूरिंग हिज रीन बुद्धिज्म गॉट स्प्लिट इनटू टू सेक्ट्स नोन एज हिनायाना, दैट इज नोन एज द लेसर व्हीकल, एंड महायाना नोन एज द ग्रेटर व्हीकल. अब इनको लेसर व्हीकल और ग्रेटर व्हीकल क्यों कहा गया है? बिकॉज जो हिनायाना को फॉलो करने वाला जो सेक्ट था, राइट, वो लोग सिर्फ अपने बारे में सोचते थे, राइट, अपने एनलाइटमेंट के बारे में सोचा करते थे. वाइल द पीपल हु वर फ्रॉम द महायाना सेक्ट दे टॉक अबाउट यूनिवर्सल एनलाइटमेंट. सो दैट वाज द डिफरेंस. तो इसलिए उनको ग्रेटर व्हीकल कहा गया है एंड दैट इज नोन एज द लेसर व्हीकल. सो द फॉलोअर्स ऑफ हिनायाना, उनकी बात की जाए, सो दे लुक्ड अपॉन बुद्धा एज दैट टीचर एंड गाइड. वो उनको अपना टीचर या गाइड मानते थे, अपना भगवान नहीं मानते थे. They did not regard him as being a deity or a god. उनको वो भगवान नहीं माना करते थे. They had no faith in idol worship. So वो किसी मूर्ति पूजन में बिलीव नहीं करते थे जो हिनायाना के फॉलोअर्स थे, right? But the followers of Mahayana, they believed that Buddha was an incarnation of God like Rama and Krishna. लेकिन जो महायाना सेक्ट के लोग थे उनका ये मानना था कि लॉर्ड बुद्धा जो हैं वो भी लॉर्ड कृष्णा, लॉर्ड रामा की तरह ही एक अवतार हैं. दे वर्शिप द इमेजेस ऑफ बुद्धा एंड बोधिसत्वास. सो ये महायाना जो लोग थे वो बुद्धा की वर्शिप किया करते थे, आइडल वर्शिप किया करते थे, एंड बोधिसत्वास की. बोधिसत्वास कौन थे? दे वर ऑल्सो पीपल हु हैड जो कि एनलाइटेंड थे, बट उन्होंने निर्वाणा जो फाइनल लिबरेशन था उसको रोक दिया और दे वर्कड ऑन द लिबरेशन, ऑन दे वर्कड ऑन द एनलाइटमेंट ऑफ other people, right? So those people were known as bodhisattvas. तो जो महायाना सेक्ट के लोग थे वो लॉर्ड बुद्धा और बोधिसत्वास की पूजा किया करते थे. They constructed many temples having Buddha's images. उन्होंने बहुत टेम्पल्स बनाए जिसमें बुद्धा की इमेजेस थी. कनिष्का फॉलोड दी महायाना सेक्ट. सो जो किंग कनिष्का थे वो महायाना सेक्ट के फॉलोअर थे. सो ही इशूड मेनी कॉइन्स बेयरिंग बुद्धास इमेज. सो वो आइडल वर्शिप किया करते थे, उनसे उनके कॉइन्स में बुद्धा के भी इमेजेस पाई गई हैं. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट आर्ट एंड स्कल्पचर ऑफ दैट टाइम. अ न्यू स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट कॉल्ड द गंधारा स्कूल डेवलप्ड ड्यूरिंग द रीन ऑफ कनिष्का, राइट? सो एक न्यू स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट था जिसका नाम था गंधारा स्कूल, जो कनिष्का के टाइम में डेवलप हुआ. द इमेजेस ऑफ गंधारा स्कूल वर ग्रेटली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द ग्रीक्स. तो उसके अंदर ग्रीक इन्फ्लुएंस काफ़ी देखा जा सकता है जो वहाँ पर इमेजेस हैं इन द गंधारा स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट. Now King Kanishka, he was a great patron of learning. Patron of learning means he was a supporter of learning. Kanishka was a great patron of learning. Ashwaghosh and Vasumitra enjoyed his favor. Ashwaghosh और वासुमित्रा जो कि बुद्धिस्ट फॉलोअर्स थे उनको वो किंग कनिष्का का उनको बहुत फेवर था. अश्वघोष इज द ऑथर ऑफ बुद्ध चरिता, राइट? अश्वघोष ने बुद्ध चरिता लिखी है. इट इज़ अ लॉन्ग पोम ऑन द लाइफ ऑफ बुद्धा, जो बुद्धा की लाइफ पर एक लंबी सी पोम है. द फिजिशियन चरका ऑल्सो लिव्ड एट हिज कोर्ट. किंग कनिष्का के कोर्ट में ही चरका जो फिजिशियन थे, राइट, जिनको माना जाता है जिन्होंने आयुर्वेद को जन्म दिया. ही वॉज वन ऑफ द फाउंडर्स ऑफ आयुर्वेद, राइट? सो ही वॉज फिजिशियन चरका. ही वॉज ऑल्सो फाउंड ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ किंग कनिष्का. Now trade with Western Asia, China and other countries. Trade brought prosperity to the kingdom. जो ट्रेड था उससे किंगडम को पैसा मिलता था, रेवेन्यू मिलता था. इससे जितना ज़्यादा ट्रेड फ्लरिश करता था उतना ही जो एम्पायर है वो बहुत प्रॉस्पर करता था. These Kushanas, they traded with the Roman Empire. इनका रोम के साथ अच्छा ट्रेड था. Now this is the map of the Kushana Empire, right? This portion you can see, this light yellowish portion is the Kushan Empire, and this is Satraps. This is Satraps Empire, and this pink part is Satvahanas or the Andhra rulers, right? ये Andhra Empire है, right? So trade relations existed with China and Western Asia through the Silk Route. Silk Route क्या है? जो इन ईस्ट को वेस्ट से जोड़ता है, राइट? ट्रेड रूट है. Kanishka controlled the Silk Route. The Silk Route extended from Central Asia down to the mouth of the Indus River. So Central Asia से Indus River तक ये जो ट्रेड रूट है जिसे सिल्क रूट कहा जाता है वो बनाया गया. From these seaports सिल्क वॉज एक्सपोर्टेड टू रोम. इन रूट से सिल्क एक्सपोर्ट किया जाता था रोम में. द ट्रेडर्स अलॉन्ग द सी रूट्स यूज्ड कनिष्काज कॉइन्स. सो जो ट्रेडिंग होती थी वहाँ पे किंग कनिष्का के कॉइन्स यूज किए जाते थे. इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स लाइक सिल्क, डायमंड्स एंड अदर प्रीशियस स्टोन्स वर इन ग्रेट डिमांड एंड वर वाइडली यूज्ड. सो द कुशानाज इंपोर्टेड copper, tin, glass and gold into their kingdom. Taxila, Ujjain and Mathura, they became big commercial centers in those days. वो बहुत ही बड़े business centers बने उस time पर. Now let's talk about coins at the time of King Kanishka. Kanishka issued a lot of gold, copper and silver coins, right? His coins are important for 3 reasons. Let's see that. The coins indicate the vastness of his empire, right? उनकी जो empire थी उसकी vastness को दिखाते हैं उनके period के जो coins थे. The coins show how tolerant he was, right? He was so tolerant towards all the religions क्योंकि बहुत सारे अलग अलग type के coins पाए गए. He issued coins bearing Buddha's images. उनके coins पर बुद्धा के images भी थे. His coins also bore the images of Greek, Persian, Hindu gods, right? He was very tolerant towards all the religions. He respected all the religions. So उनके coins पर different gods के pictures पाए गए हैं, images पाए गए हैं. Kanishka's coins had proper shape and images made on them. So ये जो कनिष्का के जो coins थे, right? They had proper shape and इनकी proper gold shape थी उनकी और proper images बनी हुई हैं उनके ऊपर. Now let's talk about administration. The Sakas and the Kushanas appointed satraps to look after far-flung corners of the empire. So उनके empire के जो दूर के हिस्से थे उसके लिए जो साकास थे और जो कुशानास थे वो satraps को अपॉइंट किया करते थे. The satrap was a mini king. जो satraps होते थे वो एक छोटे king की तरह act करते थे. They were quite powerful. His powers were greater than those of the provincial governors under the Mauryan Empire. So Mauryan Empires में जो provinces को govern करने के लिए, प्रदेशों को govern करने के लिए जो governors use किए जाते थे उनसे ज़्यादा powers इन satraps के पास होती थी जिन्हें mini king कहा गया है. Now Indianization of the foreigners. This age saw the rapid Indianization of the foreigners. The Saka satraps and the Kushanas had no ill will towards religion and culture of the Indians. So जो इस time के जो rulers थे, जो satraps थे, उनको Indian culture से कोई problem नहीं थी, right? So उनको Indianization अच्छी लगती थी. They showed an interest in the welfare of the people. They issued coins bearing Indian gods. उन्होंने लोगों के interest में लोगों की भलाई के लिए काम किया and they also issued coins जिनमें Hindu gods, Indian gods की images भी थी. So they were quite tolerant towards all the religions. Now let's talk about successors of Kanishka. Very little is known about his successors. Vashishka succeeded him. जो वशिष्ठा थे उन्होंने उनको succeed किया था. He ruled for about 5 years only, and the Kushana rule continued in the Kabul Valley till the invasion of the Huns in the 5th century AD. So जब तक Huns ने उनको invade नहीं किया in the 5th century AD, तब तक Kushana rule continue किया in the Kabul Valley. Now let's talk about the Deccan, that is the peninsular India. So the peninsular India, जो नीचे वाला part है, it consists of 2 main regions, that is the Deccan Plateau that lies between Narmada river in the north and Krishna and Tungabhadra rivers in the south. So इन दोनों के बीच का नर्मदा रिवर और नीचे कृष्णा और तुंगभद्रा रिवर्स के जो बीच का रीजन है उसे डेक्कन प्लेटू कहा जाता है. And the territories to the south of Krishna and Tungabhadra came to be known as Tamil country, right? और इन rivers के जो नीचे का हिस्सा है उन्हें तमिल country माना गया. That is the land of the Tamils, इन्हें Tamilians का land कहा जाता है. This region saw the rise of the kingdoms of Pandyas, Cheras and Cholas. तो इस region में, right? इस region में किनका rise देखा गया? पांड्या kings का, Cheras का, Chola kings का, right? So let's talk about the king Kharavela of Kalinga. So Ashoka के बाद, after the death of Emperor Ashoka, Kalinga was ruled by Kharavela in the 2nd century BC. तो अशोका की डेथ के बाद कलिंगा को किंग खारावेला ने रूल किया in 2nd century BC. The king was a follower of Jain religion. He was a Jainism follower. He built a number of caves in Udaygiri and Khandagiri hills for the use of Jain munis. उन्होंने इन हिल्स में, उदयगिरी और खांदागिरी हिल्स में जैन मुनीज के लिए काफ़ी केव्स भी बनवाई. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दी सतवाहनास. द फाउंडर ऑफ सतवाहना डायनेस्टी वाज सिमुका. ही वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ सतवाहना डायनेस्टी. द सतवाहनास आर आल्सो नोन एज आंध्रास. दे वर नोन एज आंध्रास एंड दे वर अ डोमिनेंट पावर इन द Deccan, आंध्रा रीजन में. they were very powerful, they were very dominant for more than 3 centuries. 3 centuries से भी ज़्यादा टाइम, 1st century BC to 220 AD. Now Gautamiputra Satkarni, who ruled from 106 AD to 130 AD, and his son Vashishthputra, who ruled from 130 AD to 154 AD, were powerful rulers. ये काफ़ी powerful rulers थे of the Andhra region. At the close of the 1st century AD, the power of Satvahanas declined. जैसे ही 1st century AD खत्म हुआ, सतवाहनास की जो पावर थी वो कम होनी शुरू हो गई, and that led to the Satvahana dynasty. Now let's talk about the importance of the Satvahanas. So these Satvahanas, they occupy an important place in the history of Deccan. Let's talk about their administration. The Satvahanas, they were very good administrators. उनका शासन जो था वो बहुत अच्छा था. They cleared the forest and built many roads that made easy the expansion of the Aryan culture in the south. Right? So Satvahanas ने क्या किया? They cleared the forest और बहुत उन्होंने roads बनाई जिससे कि आर्यन कल्चर का साउथ में एक्सपेंशन पॉसिबल हो पाया. Now trade and economy, there was a brisk trade between Deccan and northwestern India. बहुत ही quick trade था, lively trade था between Deccan और जो Deccan region था और जो northwestern India था. Our merchant ships sailed to Iran, Iraq and the Arab countries and Malaysia. So हमारे जो ships थे वो इन सब countries में sail किया करते थे trading के लिए. We bought wine, copper, tin, glass and precious stones from other countries. हमारी country ये सब items, wine, copper, tin, glass और other precious stones को import किया करती थी. And we sold spices, cotton and muslin cloth, cotton और spices जो थे हमारी country के वो हम इन countries में trade किया करते थे. It was a period of prosperity for the territories over which the Satvahanas ruled. It was a very good period, बहुत ही prosperous period था when the Satvahanas ruled. Right? This is Chaitya at Karle. Chaitya is a prayer hall for the Buddhists. Right? So the Chaitya hall, this Chaitya hall at Karle is 40 meter long, 15 meter wide and it is 15 meter high. The columns in the hall are of rare beauty. They are extremely beautiful and each column has a pot base. हर column का जो base है it's like a pot and a shaft and then there is a capital on the top. Shaft क्या होता है? जो base और capital को extend करता है, उस connect करता है and the capital top में जो होता है ये जो हमारे जितने भी columns बनाए गए हैं उनके top पर capital भी था. Right, the top part of the pillar is known as capital. Now let's talk about the religion. Shiva and Vishnu were the most popular deities in the Deccan. So Deccan region में Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu, they were the most important, most famous gods, most popular gods. The rulers performed sacrifices such as Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice. उस टाइम के जो rulers थे Deccan region के वो अश्वमेधा यज्ञ किया करते थे. They were tolerant of other religious faiths. The Jain and the Buddhist monks received लार्ज डोनेशंस फ्रॉम देम, और वो बाकी के जो रिलीजन्स थे उनके लिए भी क्वाइट टॉलरेंट थे, और जो जितने भी बुद्धिस्ट मंक्स थे, जैन थे, जैनिज्म के फॉलोअर्स थे, उन सबको इन किंग्स से काफ़ी डोनेशंस मिला करती थी. Now let's talk about art and architecture at that time. The Satavahanas worshipped Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, but they also built the Buddhist stupas and temples. दो जो उस टाइम के जो सतवाहनास थे वो लॉर्ड विष्णु और लॉर्ड शिवा को पूजा करते थे, स्टिल उन्होंने बुद्धिस्ट स्तूपास भी बनाए, राइट, और टेम्पल्स भी बनाए. These kings had huge rocks cut into caves and built lovely temples inside. इस टाइम के किंग्स ने बड़ी बड़ी जो रॉक्स थी, चट्टानें थी, उनको काट कर केव्स बनाए और अंदर अच्छे बहुत सुंदर टेम्पल्स बनाए. The prominent examples of the cave temples are those of Nasik, Karle and Betsa. These are examples of the temples that were built out of cutting the rocks. The Chaitya at Karle, जो हमने पीछे पेज पर देखा, जो Chaitya prayer hall is one of the finest specimens of rock cut temples. It was a rock cut temple, rock को काट कर उसे बनाया गया था, and that is one of the finest examples of rock cut temples. Now this is north gateway of the Sanchi Stupa, and this is the great stupa at Amaravati. The beauty of sculptural art can be seen in the gateways of the Sanchi Stupa. So जो gateways बनाए गए सांची स्तूपा के, उसको देख के you can understand these are evidences of the sculptural art कि उस टाइम पे art कितना फाइन था, कितने skilled थे जो उस टाइम के sculptures थे. You may have seen pictures of the beautiful statues at Amravati and Nagarjun Konda in Andhra Pradesh. These were built by the Satvahana rulers. So Satvahana rulers ने ही जो beautiful statues हैं, right, अमरावती पे और नागार्जुन कोंडा पे आंध्र प्रदेश में, वो भी सतवाहना रूलर्स ने ही बनाया गया है. So that shows then art and architecture in the Satvahana period, they were quite developed. Now let's talk about the southern kingdoms. South India saw the rise of three important kingdoms. The Chola, the Pandya and the Chera rulers were collectively known as Moovendar. They were known as Moovendar. The Cholas, Pandyas and the Cheras. So now let's talk about the Chola kingdom. The Chola kingdom comprised the modern districts of Thanjavur. क्या क्या उनके अंदर उनके kingdom में include था? Thanjavur, that is Tanjore, and Tiruchirappalli, right, that was also included in the Chola kingdom. Karikala was the greatest among the early Chola rulers. So जो early Chola rulers थे उनमें से जो सबसे महान थे, सबसे great थे, वो थे Karikala. He defeated a number of kings including the Chera and the Pandya rulers. He brought prosperity to his kingdom. So Karikala ने ही काफ़ी kings को हराया, जिनमें से Chera kings भी थे, Pandyas भी थे, and then he brought prosperity to his kingdom. उनका जो kingdom था वो बहुत rich हुआ उस time पे. The successors of Karikala were however weak. लेकिन जो Karikala थे उनके जो successors थे, आगे आने वाले जो rulers थे, वो काफ़ी weak थे, strong नहीं थे. So their power however therefore declined. The capital of Chola kingdom was Uraiyur. Chola kingdom की capital क्या थी? Uraiyur. This Pumpuhar was a very important port city of the Cholas. Cholas की important port city थी Pumpuhar, right? Now the Pandya kingdom. The Pandyas occupied the southernmost tip of India. India का जो सबसे southernmost tip है, सबसे south में है, that is Pandya kingdom ने उसको occupy किया, and उनका जो capital था, it was at Madurai. The Pandyas had been having a very long history. The rulers were great patrons of art and literature. So art and literature के बहुत बड़े supporters थे Pandya rulers. It is they who arranged the assembly of scholarly persons at Madurai from time to time. So time to time वो ऐसे assemblies किया करते थे, meetings किया करते थे, जहाँ पे gatherings हुआ करती थी of scholarly persons at Madurai, जिसने art and literature में बहुत help किया. Now let's talk about the Chera kingdom. The Chera kingdom extended along the western coast. जो western coast था, Chera kingdom वहाँ पर था. It comprised the regions which are now parts of Kerala. उसके अंदर वो regions थे जो आज केरला के parts हैं. None of the Chera kings could become as famous as the Chola ruler Karikala was. जितने भी Chera rulers थे, कोई भी इतना famous नहीं हो पाया जितने Chola king Karikala थे. Clear? Now let's talk about Sangam literature. The word Sangam means an assembly. Sangam word का मतलब क्या होता है? Assembly, a gathering. Sangams or assemblies of literary men were held at Madurai. They produced excellent literature in Tamil language, right? Madurai में ये gatherings हुआ करती थी जिसकी वजह से excellent pieces of literature निकल के आए हैं. ये सब मिलकर काम किया करते थे जितने scholars थे. So they produced excellent literature in Tamil language. The Sangam literature gives a detailed account of the history, society and culture of the kingdoms of South India. So South India के जो kingdoms थे तीनों उनके बारे में you'll get a detailed description in the Sangam literature. Now let's talk about the importance of these southern kingdoms. Let's talk about their administration. The king was assisted in his task by a group of ministers. उनकी मंत्रियों का एक group होता था जो king की help किया करता था उनके काम में. The kingdom was divided into a number of provinces, right? उनको प्रदेशों में बांटा गया. Each placed under the charge of a viceroy. और हर जो province था उसका head था एक viceroy. Each province was divided into several divisions. ये जो provinces थे उनको भी divisions में बांटा गया. And the village assemblies managed the rural affairs. जो villages के affairs थे उनको village assemblies जो थी वो manage किया करती थी. Village के जो associations थी वही manage किया करती थी. Now trade and the trade routes at that time. There was a brisk trade between India and the West. उस time पे जो trade था India का West region से West countries के साथ वो काफ़ी अच्छा था. The Roman kings bought many South Indian goods such as pearls, spices, perfumes, sandalwood, silk and muslin. So इन सब items का trade हुआ करता था with the Western countries. Hundreds of Roman coins have been found at places close to the South Indian coast. So Roman coins का हमारे South India में होना इसका proof है कि उनके बीच में trade था, right? The ships laden with Indian goods sailed to the Arabian and African ports also. The trade and industry made South Indian kingdoms very rich, right? ये जो इतना अच्छा trade था between the South Indian states and the South India and the West, इसकी वजह से South India जो था वो काफ़ी rich था, काफ़ी prosperous था. Now let's talk about life of the people at that time. This is the map of Sangam age, right? Agriculture was the main occupation of a large section of the people. बड़ा आज उस टाइम पे भी जो occupation था, main occupation that was agriculture. Barter system prevailed along with the money economy. Money के साथ साथ barter system अभी भी prevalent था, लोग exchange of goods किया करते थे. The rulers beautified their capitals with magnificent temples. Rulers जो थे उन्होंने अपनी capitals को बहुत beautify, बहुत सुंदर बनाया, बहुत सुंदर सुंदर temples बनाकर. The temples also served as schools for the study of धर्म शास्त्र and various arts and sciences. In temples में लोग जाकर information, knowledge gain किया करते थे. They became centers, they became schools for the study of धर्म शास्त्र. आप धर्म के बारे में उसमें पढ़ सकते थे. You could study about arts and sciences in these temples. On the whole, people lived happily in wealth and prosperity. So ये जो संगम age के लोग थे, they lived very happily, they were quite prosperous, so they lived a good and happy life. Now religion, Ashoka had sent Buddhist missionaries to the 3 kingdoms of the south. Ashoka ने भी इन जो 3 kingdom थे south के इनमें अपने Buddhist missionaries भेजे थे, लोग भेजे थे जो उनके धर्म का प्रचार करते थे. Jainism had also reached there, Jainism भी वहाँ पर पहुँच चुका था. But majority of the people had accepted Vishnu, Shiva and Krishna as their main deities, right? जो वहाँ के लोग थे, despite of Buddhism and Jainism reaching there, वहाँ के जो लोग थे, they majorly followed Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna as their gods. Murugan, known as Kartikeya in the north, जिनको north में कार्तिकेय कहा जाता है, उनको south में मुरुगन कहा जाता है. He is the most popular deity in the south. The king performed sacrifices and built many temples. So उन kingdoms के जो kings थे वो sacrifices भी perform करते थे and they also built many temples, right? So this was period after the Mauryan Empire, right? I hope you have understood this. Great. Now this is a glossary. Please go through this. Let's go through the quick review. The Cholas, Cheras and the Pandyas in the South India ruled in South India. We know about them from the Sangam literature. हमें Sangam literature से इन kingdoms के बारे में पता चलता है. The Sangam literature, it is written in Tamil language and it consists of many books. During the post-Mauryan period, Mauryans के बाद का जो period था, Indo-Greeks, Shakas, Pahlavas and Kushanas ruled in the North India and the Satavahanas ruled in the Deccan regions. Kanishka was a king of Kushana dynasty and he patronized Buddhism. He was a follower of Buddhism. Trade flourished during this period. इस time पे trade बहुत अच्छा था and all the kingdoms traded with other regions. सारे kingdoms दूसरे regions के साथ trade किया करते थे and the Silk Route was also very popular. Right? Now let's come to the exercises, children. So A part, we have to darken the circle of the correct option in the OMR sheet. Please do that. Number 1. The last Mauryan ruler Brihadrat was killed by his army general. What was the name of the army general? Pushyamitra Sangha. Number 2. The greatest of the Kushana rulers was, who was the greatest Kushana ruler? Yes, he was Kanishka. Right? Number 3, the Sangam literature, it was written in Tamil language. Number 4, the Pandya rulers had their capital at Purusapur, right? Number 4, the Pandya rulers had their capital at Madurai. Clear, everyone? Now B part, fill in the blanks. Number 1, the Greeks and Romans came to Indian shores from the west, right? वो सब west से आए थे. The capital of the Cholas was, Chola kingdom का capital क्या था? Uraiyur. Number 3, Dash was the Greek scholar who wrote about the Pandyas. It was Megasthenes. Number 4, the Chola kingdom spread over the delta of the Kaveri river and the Satavahanas were also known as Andhras. Clear, all of you? C part, true or false? Pushyamitra and his successors came to be known as the Sangha rulers. Yes, it is true. Number 2, the Sakas were a branch of the famous Yuchi tribe. No, they were not. False. Number 3, the capital of Kanishka's empire was Purusapur, that is Peshawar. Yes, it is true. And the Satavahanas were good administrators. Yes, they were very good administrators. True again. Right? And these are the detailed questions. Please try and attempt them yourselves, children. Right? So with this we come to an end of this chapter. Right, children? So I hope you have understood the time period after the decline of the Mauryan Empire. Right? So I'll see you in the next chapter. Till then, you all stay blessed and have a good time, children. Bye.